Well, good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 a.m. and I am about to hit the road. I am heading myself up to Indiana today. Whoops, sorry. Got my bag all packed, my trash bag around my suitcase. So I'm just hoping for good weather. It's supposed to be a heat wave, so it's going to be hot. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the ride. It's going to be a nice ride up to Indiana. We'll see what kind of things we can get out to see while we're up there. I appreciate you guys joining us. For the last several weeks, it has been super hot and humid, but when I left this morning, the weather was great. The temp was only 77 degrees, and it was perfect for setting out on a road trip. It wasn't until about 2 miles after I crossed through this roundabout that I realized I had forgotten to put on my rider backrest. At this point, I was only about 6 miles from home, so I turned back to get it. Once that was on, and after I stopped to fill the tank, I was ready to hit I-95. I'm sure that you all have some highways in your area that have a reputation, but let me tell you, I-95 is a beast. There are so many vehicles that use this highway daily, and there are always slowdowns for either construction, lane shifts, or accidents, whatever it might be. I was really glad I was out early so I could avoid a lot of that mess. As the sun started to come up, there were some areas with some misty fog forming, and it really looked cool. But it wouldn't be long before I ran into my first construction area. But again, since it was so early, I breezed right through. I would not be so lucky later in the day. I would have one slowdown later on in Lexington, Kentucky that had me second guessing this entire trip. Stop of the day, well actually second. I stopped this morning when I left the house and filled up, but first real stop of the day. I'm in Clinton, South Carolina, I believe. I went about 230 miles. Just gonna fill it up here, maybe eat some M&Ms or something. Get back on the road. It's been a beautiful morning, 77 degrees so far, and perfect. Got her all gassed up, ready to hit the road. Had to get me some M&Ms. But I'm hungry. I don't want to stop and eat breakfast though, so I just thought I'd get a snack. But I know it's going to get hot. I wish it would stay 77 all day, but then you're going to have to. South Carolina is a beautiful state, and someday I hope to hit some of the roads that are away from the interstate and see what it's got to offer. But today, it's all about putting down those miles. I really need to give credit to this bike also. Man, is it comfortable. I'm using the modified seat that came from a 2015 Ultra Limited, and it just makes this thing ride so much better. And in my opinion, there really is no seat that is more comfortable than the one from the Ultra Limited. I've always wanted to take a motorcycle trip down the Blue Ridge Parkway, and since I'm so close being down here in Georgia, it's just a few hour drive for me to get here. I think I'm going to come up here soon and start in Cherokee, North Carolina, and ride the Parkway all the way up to Afton, Virginia. Starting to see the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it really makes me want to take a detour and hit that ridge. But I still have a long way to go to get home, and I'll just have to save that for another day. Well, my second stop wasn't planned, but I'm at a rest area here. Had some traffic back there on the interstate, man. We were backed up for, shoot, I don't know how long. I had to get that coat off, put my green shirt on, and take this in and get the sleeves wet. Man, it's like air conditioning. You put these sleeves in the water and get them wet. I'm telling you, man, it's like air conditioning. So I'm gonna set my GPS on the bike this time, because it seems to really route me around stuff better than the Google Maps does. So I'm going to set my Harley-Davidson GPS. I've had really good luck with that, and going to see if it will take me around some of the, I think there's still like one lanes up there where Hurricane Helene took out a lot of roads, and you know, up past Asheville, North Carolina, through the mountains there. So I'm hoping that maybe this will take me around some of those if I can get around them. I don't know if I can, but I know they're open one lane each direction, certain spots. So it's going to be slow, but we'll get through it. So we're going to hit the road again here in about 2 minutes.
Once I got onto I-40 heading west, the views just kept getting better. Rolling through the Appalachian Mountains and then into the Great Smoky Mountains was nothing short of amazing, and they did not disappoint. With scenery like that leading the way, the miles just seemed to get so much easier. I eventually started coming into the areas that were hit really hard with flooding last year when Hurricane Helene dumped so much rain, devastating many small communities. And just seeing the damage that was done at the interstate really made me feel for those affected. The ones that lost everything, and even some who lost loved ones. I think there were like 104 people killed during those storms in North Carolina alone. Man, that really kind of hits you hard as you're driving through and seeing what was left even after a year later. There are still spots with entire sections of the eastbound lanes missing where the river just washed them away. And this is just what we can see from the highway. There's so much more devastation up in the mountains where people live that we can't see. I have a good friend who is here now on his second week-long trip to help people rebuild. It's hard to even wrap my head around what that would be like to have everything you know and love just ripped away like that. My prayers are definitely with the people of North Carolina and surrounding areas that were affected by this huge storm. The next 12 or so miles would be super slow as we passed by section after section of I-40 that had been destroyed. I've seen some videos on YouTube of this river flowing with the road being washed away, and man, it was scary. Shortly after this washout, I turned the camera off and just cruised with the flow of traffic until I reached Kentucky. Now at this point, I realize I still have a lot of miles to go, right around 275, but I also know that the next state is Indiana, and that gives me the feeling of almost being home. And when you haven't been home in a while, 275 miles just doesn't seem that far. But like I mentioned earlier in this video, once I got closer to Lexington, there was a slowdown and ultimately a stoppage that would have me questioning my decision to make this trip altogether. I spent about 20 minutes and traveled about 3 miles. And by this time the temp had gone up to around 90, and when you don't have a breeze, that just hits a little bit different. Finally made it to an exit where I found a Raising Cane's and decided to go in and soak up some of their AC. Of course I had to get some chicken tenders while I was there. When I see this tunnel, when I'm traveling on Interstate 265 near Louisville, Kentucky, the only thing left between me and my home state of Indiana is the Ohio River. Cross under the toll cameras so they can get a shot of my license plate, then over the bridge and the Ohio River. After crossing the Lewis and Clark toll bridge over the Ohio, I had about 79 miles to get to Columbus, Indiana. And from there, I was only about 16 miles from the end of this trip. And man, was I ready for a break.
Wow, it's good to be back here.
My ultimate destination is Brown County, home to the largest state park in Indiana, and the town of Nashville that started as an artist colony and has now become a well-known tourist stop. Over 1 million visitors come to this county in October alone just to take in the beauty of the autumn leaves. The hills here are known as the Little Smokies because they have areas of steam and fog rising in the morning and in the evening, and it truly resembles that of the Great Smoky Mountains. I absolutely love coming back here to visit. It's one of the hidden treasures of the Midwest.
Well, I made it. That was a day. I've been gone from the house for right about 14 hours, and I think my actual drive time was, I think it was a little over 12, actually right at 12 maybe, but several slowdowns on the interstate 40, where all the flooding was there, of course, last year when Hurricane Helene went through, so that area was pretty slow. Then we had some stoppages over closer to Lexington, Kentucky. I sat in traffic there probably 20 minutes straight. Took me that long to go 3 miles, and man, I thought I was gonna fall out. But anyway, I finally made it to the exit and got some water, and here we are in good old Nashville, Indiana. Actually, I'm in Gnawbone, Indiana. Kind of a weird little town name, but that's where I'm at right now. And man, it's good to be home. Can't wait to see everybody. So stick around, we're gonna do some good riding while I'm here, and show you some of the places I love to go.